Garrett.
Hello and welcome.
You want to do the intro?
No, you do it, mate.
You sure?
Yeah, it's yours.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an emergency pod. Dos is online with us. Hawley's in the studio, just popping by
Came down, mate.
in his full paint kit. I think you can see those pants on
Just
the...
finished an epoxy floor, so if you are looking for an epoxy floor, I'm still available.
Was this your second one, or is this still your first one?
No, it's just, I've done plenty. I've done heaps.
He's very experienced. Very experienced
in epoxy floor
I
flaking.
tell you who's very experienced, boys. Myles Garrett. Dos, and he's been traded. He's been traded from the Cleveland Browns to the LA Rams for Jared Verse, a first-round pick this year, which, if you can believe it, the next draft is the 2027 draft, plus a future second and third. Dos, were they right to do it? The Browns, did they get enough?
Well, firstly, Dos, were you the first person in Australia to report this news? Because my alarm went off at 6 a.m. this morning. I woke up, I already had about 10 messages from you. So you were raring to go this morning, weren't you?
Oh, I wasn't, Pauline. Hello, everybody. We actually had a couple of DMs at about 3 o'clock in the morning in our Outback quarterback Instagram chat. So
were they from Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport?
It was from Myles Garrett.
As much as I would like to say that we have a blue tick now, we haven't quite got the attention of those two gentlemen yet. Mm-hmm. But we do have a lot of people and a lot of loyal followers that were up very early, 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. I think Adelaide time, 4 a.m. Eastern time it went down. And I basically couldn't go to sleep. I woke up at 5:30. The alarm went off, and
too excited.
I saw all these notifications. And it was awesome. And June 1st, and we have a whole heap of stuff to talk about. And what a trade by the Cleveland Browns. And a few weeks ago, when we were doing the AFC over-unders, and I said to you boys, at what point, and because I thought Myles Garrett would get traded before the trade deadline, and you sort of said, I think, Kurt, what's the record? It might have been Hawley. What record do they need to be at? And we sort of thought, if they're around the 2-6 mark or somewhere around that, they'd probably look at trading him. And my reason behind that was it just gave the Browns, likely they would get a first-round pick, and they have, but an extra 2027 first-round pick to go into a draft that is expected to be quarterback heavy.
That's right.
So they now have the ammunition to be able to move up should they need to, depending on where that record is. And that's still obviously 9 months away or 10 months away, but still it's they've got a lot of draft capital now, and they get a player in Jared Verse who has immense talent. We like him a lot. We've spoken about him a lot on the pod, and if you look at his stats, he's only second to Myles Garrett in quarterback pressures over the last 2 seasons, that being his rookie season and his sophomore season. So he's certainly trending on the way up, and the Browns also get Jared Verse for another 2 years on a rookie contract as well.
Yep, 5 years younger. Obviously, he's not Garrett. Nobody else is, but it's about as good as you could have done if you're the Browns, I think. So do you think they got enough, Hawley? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, I think it's a win for both teams, which isn't always that often. It doesn't happen that often. Well, I think the Rams are in a win now Super Bowl couple of year period, and Myles Garrett is going to help that immensely. Like 23 sacks last year, defensive player of the year. You'd expect the next 2 years he probably has somewhere near 30 sacks overall, not each year. That's going to be a massive win for the Rams. And then obviously the Browns, like Dos said, they get their extra first. They get Jared Verse, who he had 4.5, 7.5 sack seasons, but a lot of pressures. Those pressures will turn into sacks.
Yeah, and production for the first 2 years is huge.
Massive. Yeah. So they've got a guy that will be solid defensive starter for the next 7 or 8 years, and maybe one of the, hopefully a star in the league. Plus, it could work out really well. If one of these quarterbacks the Browns already has on their roster plays well this year, which it could easily happen. Deshaun Watson could turn a leaf, or Shadil Sanders could come good.
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is not turning any leaves. He's not played well since 2020 when he was at Houston.
Yeah, because he hasn't played. That's why. Then they've got these extra firsts to spend on other capital, and if not, then like Dos said, they trade up, get their quarterback, and they start their rebuild properly. So I think it's a really good trade from both franchises.
And they did it before it was too late. They had to. This was the year. You can't hang on till he's 31, 32 and still expect to get a premium price. I said in another video on the Kurt Can't Talk /Outback QB channel this morning the Browns may actually be becoming a semi-competent franchise now with the way they're building. It has to be a lot of layers to paper over the cracks of the Deshaun Watson debacle, the worst trade in the history of sport. But with a good 25 draft, a good 26 draft, it looks like, plus these picks and these decisions, Andrew Berry is actually salvaging the unsalvageable. But maybe.
They only made one mistake. And
but it was
a massive mistake. Like the mistake probably combined, maybe 4 or 5 mistakes in one.
Correct.
But it was only one. It's a decade's worth of mistake.
Yeah.
But they're, like you said, they're rewriting their wrongs now. And it's actually looking, if you're a Browns fan compared to, say, a Jets fan, or another franchise like that, you'd be thinking, okay, we're actually moving somewhere. It's a bit like we're talking about the Raiders. Like they look like they're on an upwards turn now, and the Browns seem like maybe they're doing the same. This year might not be great in terms of win-loss. No. This might be the best their record is, 0-0. But in the next couple of years, we expect it to turn around. So if you're a Browns fan, I'd be pretty positive about this trade. And if you're a Rams fan, I'd be very, very excited.
Dos, that wasn't all that was keeping you up this morning. No wonder you couldn't sleep. There was also the long vaunted trade of AJ Brown to the Patriots. Goes from the Eagles to the Patriots. I'll get Hawley's opinion in a sec. I know he's pretty happy.
Super Bowl, baby. We're back.
I know he's pretty happy. But I think this is another Howie Roseman masterstroke, Dos, as much as I'm sick of saying it. If you look at what they spent 4 years ago, what they got out of AJ, and now what they give him up for.
Correct, Kurt. Yeah, worst kept secret in football. We always knew this was happening as soon as it ticked over June 1 on the calendar.
I think it was, sorry, just to correct you, I think it was the second worst kept secret in football. The other one did involve Mike Vrabel as well.
Yeah, all right.
But if we're talking on field, yes, certainly.
Yeah, so they get the Patriots 2028 first. I think Howie Roseman would have liked the Patriots 2027 first.
Sure.
But because I think the Patriots are in for a little regression year from hell, but we'll see how that turns out.
This guy?
They get
and he does a podcast. Jeez.
Yeah. So that's just how. Hey, I just don't think that.
Early.
A tough schedule, Hawley. We've spoken about it. I think but this definitely strengthens the Patriots receiving room. But just quickly on the Eagles and what they've done here. So that June 1st, it was once that ticked over for people that didn't know, that was really where the dead cap hit against the Eagles was reduced by about $50 million.
Yeah.
So, this was pretty much finalized at the draft and probably even at the combine if we really want to get specific about it. But like you said, 4 years of production from AJ Brown, a Super Bowl ring. They get a first rounder in 2028 back and a fifth rounder. The original trade with Tennessee was for a first and a third 4 years ago. So, you look at what Howie Roseman has done there, as well as add Jonathan Grenard into that mix on the defensive side of the ball during the draft with the anticipation that this trade was going to get done.
So net spend, Dos, for 4 good years of AJ Brown in his prime, including a Super Bowl ring, they traded down from a 3rd round pick to a 5th round pick. When you balance out the first rounders, that's what they've done.
And you're probably
they've gone from a 3rd to a 5th, and they've used AJ Brown.
Depending on where the Patriots finish, let's say they have a good 2028.
Yep.
And they end up with pick 30 or 31. Then what was AJ? It was pick 18. Is that what they traded?
around there.
So they 16, go from mid first to a late first or something like that. So yeah, you trade back. But to be honest, it is a steal. It's a bit of a masterclass move. And again, I think it's one that a 29-year-old receiver, first round pick. Patriots need to make something happen the next couple of years now. It's similar to where the Rams sit with, we're trading to win now. We're not trading for future pieces. We're trading because we have a hole in wide receiver. We need to give Drake May something elite to throw to. We've got that in AJ Brown. Now let's go and use it and make it work and try to win. He's 29 or June 30th, I think. So they should get 2 pretty solid years out of him. You'd expect 2 to 3 years, which
you'd think so.
If they have some decent success, then you'd probably call it an even trade. If they don't, then it's a big win from Philly, I think.
The other thing is that Philadelphia were prepared for this too. They drafted Mekhi Lemon in the first round. They traded for Dontavian Wicks. They got Hollywood Brown in free agency. So they've got the makings of a room there that could, in some ways, account for that
Correct. And you could look at it the other way. They might grab the Patriots' first-round pick and they might draft someone who absolutely tanks. And everyone looks at it and says, oh, wow, Patriots won that trade. So
they might get a Traylon Burks equivalent.
They might end up with a Traylon Burks. But Dos, was there anyone else in the market for that, for AJ Brown? Because could the Patriots have played a little more hard ball? Because could they have just sat there and said, well, no, you're not getting a first-round pick no matter what the year. We'll give you a second and a third. Take it or leave it. That's that. Is that an option, or is it just too risky for the Patriots because they needed their guy and that it's the missing piece, and if they don't have that piece, then it makes it a lot tougher to win championships, I suppose. Was kind of a question. Yep.
I think we're lagging.
It certainly didn't appear that anyone else was in the market, Hawley, for AJ Brown. It was always, you boys got me?
Keep rolling, mate.
Yeah, it was always AJ Brown to the Patriots. There never seemed to be another team that was in the mix for AJ Brown. There was rumors that Washington were potentially interested, Kansas City as well. But realistically, given where the Chiefs' cap position was, and I think what they were able to give up, Washington also seemed to be in the Brandon Ayuk market at the moment. There's sort of a stalemate there with the 49ers. They didn't seem to kick the tires too much on AJ Brown. So it really did just seem like it was the New England Patriots and nobody else. And Howie Roseman, to his credit, was able to get a first-round pick in return, and we'll see where that ends up in 2028. And I'm sure we'll look back on that and go whether that was a masterstroke or not. I don't think it certainly hurts Philly. On field, you could sort of see that it was done there, the relationship with AJ Brown in Philadelphia. The locker room, there won't be that walking around on eggshells. There won't be that noise. There won't be, the drama that is associated AJ Brown with the Philadelphia Eagles really over the last 12 months. That's now gone. He has the ability to go to New England and be the true number one with Romeo Dobbs as his support as a number two there. And they've got a nice little pass catcher room. It did look a little thin in New England, and we sort of spoke about that during the AFC over-under, and we sort of thought that AJ Brown would be the ideal complement. Stephon Diggs obviously leaving and not getting his contract renewed. So it makes sense, certainly, for the New England Patriots. It gives Drake May that target that you mentioned, Hawley, and a big target, someone that can get down the field, that can play on the outside. And it's really something that Drake May didn't have last year. So it'd be interesting to see how Josh McDaniels uses AJ Brown in that offense. And it's exciting for Patriots fans because it gives them a bit more explosiveness and a bit more unpredictability on the offensive side of the ball, which we saw they started to struggle, I think, in the playoffs. I know defensively they were very good, but offensively you started to see cracks against the better defenses in the playoffs. And albeit they did win those games and make it to the Super Bowl, they certainly got exposed against the Seahawks, and this gives them the ability to have that extra playmaker that they didn't have really last year, and that X factor.
But he wasn't the biggest wide receiver that's made a move this year, Kurt.
Who
Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh.
Back to the Giants.
Is that confirmed?
I believe so. Is that confirmed?
How did that slip through the cracks?
That is confirmed, along with Juju Smith-Schuster and Braxton Berrios.
What a combo that would have been!
All to the Giants.
Like 8 years ago, that would have been the best wide receiver duo in the league.
Oh, Vontez Burfict will be licking his lips trying to line those boys up. Wowzers. That's extraordinary. All right, maybe do another emergency pod after this to discuss.
That's an hour episode on Odell.
So the Flag Football Fest helped Odell get a contract.
I think so.
There
I think he's back. Yeah.
Very good. Well, look, it's hugely intriguing. The Rams are now even more stacked than they were. They do lose Verse, though, out of this. Verse is no longer on their team. I know Garrett's huge, but I think it is a big departure to lose Verse and sub Garrett in. But still, they are net better for it. I wonder how it pans out. Often these things don't turn out the way we think they will on paper. But that's an emergency pod, boys. Dos, you can get back to work. Hawley, you can go back to wherever your next work site is. And
West Beach, mate.
All right, off to West Beach. I'll get this up on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon. Season finale coming up this Sunday night live on YouTube on the Outback QB.